A few days ago, I passed the historic 10,000 subscriber milestone on my YouTube channel. And I just wanted to take a minute to thank all of you who watch my videos on a regular basis. And I especially wanted to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel, turned on the bell notification, commented on one of my videos, liked one of my videos, or shared one of my videos. Because doing one of those actions after watching one of my videos tells the YouTube algorithm that you think that my video is worth recommending to other people. And based on your recommendation, the algorithm does exactly that. It recommends my videos to someone else. And that is the sole reason that my channel is growing at the rate it is. I am perfectly aware of the fact that if it wasn't for all of you incredible people who take those actions on a daily basis, that my channel would not be where it is today. So for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I just want to let you know that I have some really cool plans for this channel coming in the next few years, so I really hope that you stick around. That being said, I didn't want this video just to be a quick little thank you. I wanted to take this opportunity to give those of you who are also building your own YouTube channels a little bit of motivation. Now this video will be part of my Getting Started on YouTube playlist, and I know from my analytics that more and more of you are beginning to watch those videos. I also know from speaking with many of you that some of you have already launched your own YouTube channels. And just like every other YouTube content creator who has created a channel on this platform, some of you are feeling a little frustrated with the results that you're getting. So I'm going to spend the rest of this video passing on a little advice that I hope will make your first few years of growing your YouTube channel just a little less stressful. So stick around. Hey guys, Craig here. Hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so by far the hardest thing to deal with when you're first launching a new YouTube channel is having low view counts on your videos. Now I just want to start off by saying that having a low view count on your video does not necessarily mean that the video is bad. In fact, one has absolutely nothing to do with the other. I mean, think about it. How would anybody even know your video is bad if they haven't watched it yet? Now there are a lot of things that often contribute to low view counts, two of which are bad titles and poor thumbnails. But one of the biggest reasons new YouTube channels struggle with low view counts is simply because the YouTube algorithm just hasn't figured out who your target audience is yet. And that takes time. Some of my early self-publishing videos were barely breaking 100 views in the first 90 days. In fact, it was almost 2 years in before this video even hit 1,000 views and actually started to take off and make some money. But as I continued to create more and more content around this same topic, the YouTube algorithm eventually figured out who my target audience was for this niche. And once it did, pretty much all of my videos that I created after that point started getting views and making money right from day one. That being said, trying to stay motivated during those early days can be easier said than done. And one of the techniques that I used to help me get through those tough times was visualization. You see, what a lot of people don't realize is that YouTube reality and real world reality are not the same thing. The definition of success by YouTube standards is a lot different than it is in the real world. You see, if I was to spend a week creating a lecture on 12 simple tips for editing video in Premiere Pro, and then I posted a flyer at my local college that invited anyone who wanted to sit in on that lecture absolutely free of charge, and around 150 people showed up for that lecture, I would be ecstatic and would consider that turnout to be a huge success. But by YouTube standards, 150 views on a video covering that same lecture would be considered by most YouTube content creators to be a failure. You see, the laws that govern YouTube in the real world are completely different. And when you're just starting out on YouTube, it's extremely important that you hold on to that real world perspective as you go through that initial growth period. And this is where visualization comes in. Now my video on how to shoot a YouTube video on a small budget got just over 250 views. Although not very impressive by YouTube standards, a turnout like that in the real world is definitely nothing to be ashamed of. Having over 500 people show up to listen to me talk about the 6 things you must do before starting a YouTube channel would actually be pretty crazy in a real world environment. But again, by YouTube standards, 500 views is kind of a letdown. But it's not until you get into the higher numbers that you truly realize just how ridiculous YouTube reality is compared to the real world. I can't even imagine giving a public lecture based on my review of the artwork of Cuphead in front of a crowd of over 1,600 people. That's a lot of Cuphead fans. And it only gets more ludicrous the higher you go. I mean, when was the last time you went to a lecture on how to draw mandalas where over 4,000 people showed up? Never. But it happens all the time on YouTube. I have videos on my channel with view counts so high that if I was ever forced to speak in public in front of an audience of that size, I'd probably crap my pants. Like for instance, the lecture I gave on how to add A+ content to your Amazon book listing. That put over 13,000 people in the seats. If you haven't seen it yet, that lecture was a real nail-biter, let me tell you. But if I'm being honest, that lecture pales in comparison to my lecture on how to promote your KDP low-content books. Listening to those 19,000 screaming KDP fans was literally life-changing. When you actually visualize the audience, it really starts to put things into perspective, doesn't it? That being said, nothing compares to the lecture I did on how to create a word search puzzle in BookBolt. There I was, on center field with my dual monitor setup, laying out the cover of a Valentine-themed word search puzzle book as 44,000 diehard BookBolt fans watched the Jumbotron with anticipation, getting wilder and wilder with every graphic layer that I added. And then when I finally placed the word Valentine on the cover, the crowd went wild. One section of the stadium even started doing the wave, while the entire crowd was screaming out, "I love BookBolt," and "Greg Babin is awesome." Sorry. The point I'm trying to make is that although the chances of that many people coming together in the real world to watch a lecture about BookBolt is pretty much non-existent, the chances of getting that many people to watch a video tutorial on YouTube is actually quite doable. And the great news is that you as a YouTube content creator will never have to stand up in front of 100,000 people to give a lecture about your designer spoon collection. All you have to do is sit alone in your quiet little room and talk to the lens of a camera. But you'll still be able to reach all of those people from the comfort of your own home, and that's what makes this YouTube opportunity so incredible. But when you're just getting started, you're going to need to remind yourself every now and then that only having 150 people show up to watch your video is not a failure. In fact, it's actually pretty cool. You just need to give yourself some time to grow. I firmly believe that if you stick with it and you just keep improving your skills with every video you make, YouTube success will eventually happen for you. Once again, I just want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel over the past 2.5 years. And for those of you who haven't, it's not too late. I mean, I'm totally cool with going to 100,000 subscribers if that's what everybody wants. Now, if you're someone who's just getting started on YouTube and you need a little direction, then be sure and check out my playlist, Getting Started on YouTube. It has everything you need to get your YouTube journey up and running. And you can find a link to it right here. Until next time, take care.